So, I am finally back after an extended break. Very happy to be back. And I am going to be starting off with my review of Cruella. I'm just going to say right out here that this is a spoiler review. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, go check that out and then come back and see this. So without any further ado, let's jump right into this movie review of Cruella with the negatives. First off, I just really didn't like how by the end of the movie, she didn't really feel like, this big villainous character. She didn't feel like the bad guy from 101 Dalmatians. Just because, they painted her as more sympathetic, and with the setup at the end that she didn't really kill the Dalmatians. By the end of the movie, she just didn't really feel like a villain. Sure, she committed a few crimes, but it was mostly just to get revenge on this even worse person. And then she just doesn't feel like someone who's gonna, go around and try and skin 101 puppies, sorry. And then also, in the end credit scene, they have someone singing the Cruella de Vil song, oh, Cruella de Vil, if she doesn't scare you, nobody will. Trying to paint her out as this, evil, awful figure, but it's she never really seemed that evil. I mean, she, had a couple of maybe illegal fashion shows. She broke her friends out of prison. And other than that, I can't think of too much bad that she did. She stole a couple of dogs. She doesn't seem like this evil, wicked person who's gonna be, this big villain that tries to kill a bunch of dogs and is painted as super evil and scary. She just doesn't feel like that by the end of the movie. And then also, I didn't really like that Emma Thompson's character. I was okay with her killing Cruella's mom and trying to kill Cruella, but I thought it was weird when she said the line, when Cruella said, oh, you killed my mother, and then Emma Thompson was like, oh, I've killed many people, darling, you're gonna have to be more specific. I feel like it takes away from her character and makes her more just a psychopathic, emotionless killer, and less of just a narcissistic fashion designer. So, maybe one or two, that's fine, but basically realizing that she's basically a mass murderer, not a mass murderer, but essentially just a serial killer in a way. I just didn't like that very much. So those are my two main problems with the movie. But on to the good. First off, Emma Stone's performance, as usual, was fantastic. She brought a sympathetic but also kind of crazy edge to the character. She did great with every scene she was in. I really like the whole thing of her character, how it's it seems like Estella, the nice, wannabe fashion designer. It seems like she's the main personality, and she's trying to keep, in this Cruella personality is kind of an evil facade, but later on we kind of realize Cruella is who she naturally is, and Estella was always the facade, and her kind of embracing that. I really thought that worked. I like that. Emma Stone brought all the craziness, but also made us feel sincere for her. She was great in this movie, and I loved her whole dynamic with Emma Thompson about how it's, Cruella versus the Baroness, and you're getting excited seeing them one-up each other. I thought that was really fun. Speaking of which, Emma Stone was awesome as the Baroness. Just a great job as this narcissistic person who you really like to hate, and who was super satisfying at the end when she was arrested and defeated. And I really liked her performance. Both the main performances in the movies were good. This movie, on a more technical level, I loved its depiction of 1970s London. I thought they did that really well. And that kind of was reflected in the music choices. With a lot of songs that seemed kind of oh, we're making a movie about the 70s. These seemed like very 70s songs, kind of cliche, but they all work for me, and they didn't seem as forced in as Suicide Squad, where it was hey, look, we got all this music, see? Listen to our music. Suicide Squad kind of distracted me, but for this movie, there's a lot of music, but didn't really distract me from what was going on. And then also, I love, all the costumes were great. All the costumes and makeup was really great in this movie, really well done. Visually, it had some really good shots in there, and I liked that a lot. I think the scene that best represents what I like about this movie is the scene where Cruella kind of first becomes Cruella, and she, goes into the party while they're trying to steal the necklace, and eventually kind of erupts into chaos as they're trying to escape. The necklace is getting hit around, an electric light orchstra's Living Thing is playing. I love that scene because it has, the good tension between Emma Stone and Emma Thompson. It has, some fun, fast hijinks as they're, trying to get the necklace, and then also the guards are trying to escape. It has a lot of the great costumes and visual shots. And it has, of course, a great song with Living Thing. And this whole scene represents what I do like about the movie. And I thought it worked really well. I thought the ending was pretty good, even if it didn't, set up Cruella perfectly as it should have. Didn't make her seem very evil. Overall, this is a very fun and entertaining movie about, these two kind of fashion designers going up against each other as one has to embrace kind of their inner craziness in order to defeat them. I thought it was really good, even if Cruella doesn't really feel like a villain at the end of the movie, and Emma Thompson's like murdering aspects didn't work too well for her. I still really enjoyed it, and even though it's not something I'd watch again very soon, it's definitely something I'd watch again in the future, maybe a few years down the line. So Cruella's entertaining. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. I hope you guys liked the video. Upcoming reviews include Quiet Place Part 2, Luca, the Loki premiere, and maybe even I'll talk about the Spider-Man trailer when it comes out. But until then, I hope you guys liked the video, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.